Look here, such a spot I'm in, Susan.
Why, John, what's that in your hand? A pair of underwear, socks knit from our own wool. And what are you doing with that new hat? I haven't finished weaving yet. Look, the ends are loose.
Well, I must find something quick to clothe the man. What's this? Oh, moccasins.
I was going to mend them. What is it? Has someone fallen into the lake?
No, it's just a room chute again. I need him for the haying. And where do you suppose I found him this time?
I couldn't guess.
Sitting in the Indian camp, naked as God made him, hugging his bones.
Good heavens, had he murdered someone?
Only himself, his gambling bones, my dear. He had gambled his clothes away, and so could not, you see, help Mr. Allison with haying.
What a lovely joke!
It's no joke at all, with haying weather nearly spent. By the looks of those clouds, I've got to get the Indians to work faster. Oh, Marie, are you there, Marie?
Mister, you call me.
Dear old girl, you're old enough to be Cheryl's grandmother. Take him this clothing and see that he gets it on quick and back to the haying.
As Mister say, I go.
Good, then we're off. MacDougall, are you there? What? Ready? Then our prayer is on, my
Why I pisnach seal? Why I clahaptet? Why I slachlach? I squeezed Jordan Coble, couldn't tell, stakat tulknuit. In Tatupa I squeezed La, Isama I squeezed Martina San Pierre. I Kupsa I squeezed John McDougall, Tisiti Shutch, Mi Penunum in Conquailton. Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Jordan Coble. I come from what we refer to in our language as Windy Bay. You may know it as Westbank or West Kelowna. I'm here to share a few ideas or plant some seeds in your mind today. My great-grandma's name, she was known throughout the nation as La. She was recognized by the government as Martina San Pierre, the late Martina San Pierre. I try not to say late too much because it's my family. I don't want to say we're late for anything. If anything, she left early. And also, we're never late as Seal people. We always arrive just on time, so. But anyways, my Lala, at one point in time, met a man named John McDougall. You may know him as Mac. And this man, he was a good man. I trust that he was a good man because knowing our Seal women, they would not accept anything less but a good man into their hearts and into their arms. But I want you to keep this in mind as I share my story with you. A few years back, I was asked to travel to Vancouver and share my perspective of the lake, the opera that we're witnessing here today. I was asked by my elder, and it made me feel good in my heart to be asked, but I didn't know if I was ready to share knowledge, to impart knowledge on one another, for that knowledge to be shared again and over and over. I also was a little nervous because I was still, well, I am still young, but even then I was a little younger, maybe a little bit younger. But I sucked it up. I'm also known as a person that will fly anywhere and do anything that usually the usual people won't do, so I sucked it up and I went and I prepared. And what I did not expect was what came of it. I didn't expect to meet such wonderful people, to meet such wonderful, open-hearted, open-minded people that were willing to listen to my perspective, to my story, to the knowledge that has been passed on to me by my elders. And so for that, I'm very thankful. But they've asked me to come here today and share that knowledge with you so that you have an understanding of what we're doing here today. This is a beautiful collaboration between Astrolabe Music Theatre, between Turning Point Ensemble, between Westbank First Nation. Together we rose, and we envisioned a dream. We saw it happen in our hearts and in our minds, and together we worked together to make it happen, to make it a reality, and that's what you're seeing today. And we wanted to revisit it, to incorporate our culture, my people, the Syilx Okanagan people, so that we can tell our own stories, so that we can share our perspective of our history and share our beliefs of N-ha-a-itk. All this talk about throwing chickens and pigs overboard, it's not necessarily true by any means whatsoever. We do, and we still make offerings to the lake, but they're not live animals. In our beliefs, we all come from the same source. To Miuch, we are all living creatures. We're all equals. And it's told in our stories that all the animals, all the plants offered themselves to us so that we would survive as Syilx people. And so we recognize them as our parents, and we would never throw our parents overboard. So I just wanted to share that with you, because N-ha-a-itk is not a monster. N-ha-a-itk is in all of us. N-ha-a-itk is the sacred spirit of the lake. It's the lake itself. It's all that lives within the lake, all that surrounds it, the rivers, streams, and creeks that flow into it. But more importantly, it's our connection to N-ha-a-itk that keeps it alive. Yes, many of us believe in a creature that lives within the lake, but it's more than a creature. It's in us. It's who we are as people, as Syilx people, as non-Indigenous people. N-ha-a-itk is in all of you as well. We all have a responsibility to make sure the health of the lake is maintained. One of my elders, my past ancestors, Elizabeth Charters Lindley, she explained N-ha-a-itk as a metaphor for sustainability. And that's what I want you to take away from this opera today. It's our responsibility, not as Syilx people, not as Indigenous people or Aboriginal people, to stand up for what's right. It's all of our responsibility to stand up for what's right. The health of our future generations is at stake. And so we have to honor N-ha-a-itk in the right way. So I want you to share that with you. And as far as my great-grandfather goes, the John McDougall, I want you to also know he was not born and raised in this community. I'm sure, as I mentioned, he was very close with our community. I'm almost certain of it. But he's not representative of who we are as Syilx people. He's a very honest and good man, but it's our beliefs that N-ha-a-itk exists. So keep that in mind as we continue on with the show. And I also wanted to share what's taking place in the center of the area here. My beautiful young cousins and nephews and just my family. That's stick games. You might have heard the reference of the naked Indian. It was very nice. Promise you, we all look good naked. But what these young people are doing here today, they're sharing stick games. And I encourage you during the intermission, which will take place as soon as they take this mic away from me, to ask questions about it. What stick games are, they're a way of coming together. Although we aren't big casino people up here in the north, that was our first form of gambling. That's our first form of social interaction, of sharing wealth, of risking some of your clothes, some of your wares, some of your resources. But today it's seen as our way to come together as healthy, strong, and vibrant people. It's shared without all the young people, the old people, everyone plays stick games. There's no language spoken during the games. It's all done with hand gestures, or you might recognize the pointing of the lips. That may happen, so keep your eyes open. But what we're here doing today is sharing our culture with you. We're sharing our history, showing you that our culture is alive, showing you that our language is alive. I'm just learning the language now, but it's coming along. I promise you I'll work on it. But again, please, during the intermission, ask questions whatsoever, whatever you need. What we have in the middle here, we have two captains, one on each side. As you can tell, we went through the regular high school separation of teams, boys versus girls. So we have Moonlight Super Null and Wind Dance Super Null. They are our team captains. They're in charge of designating who gets to choose or who gets to hide the bones. And the bones are what people are trying to guess, which bone or which person is holding or which hand is holding the unmarked bone. So there's two bones, one marked, one unmarked. So feel free to ask questions. Today, like I said, it's our way of getting together and sharing our culture. So please ask questions. It's okay to do that. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for experiencing this performance with me today. It means a lot to me. It brings out a lot of emotion. And I hope that you understand what is taking place and that it's been a dream of many people, especially my elder Delphine Derickson and especially Heather Pawsey. But I want to thank everyone involved. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, White Limnant. We are going to move into intermission. So during the intermission, if you hear a bell going at any point in time or see Jeremy running around like a crazy person with a bell, that means please return to your seats. The opera will resume. But at this point in time, I do believe you're free to move about the cabin. So thank you very much. White Limnant.